Welcome. You're listening to The Aligned Self, Conversations in Creating a Conscious and Abundant Life. This is Daniel Denovi. I'll be your guide and host. Let's see just where we can take this. Well, hello there and welcome back to the conversation. A couple episodes ago, I mentioned that I was going to do, or the next episode I was going to do, was going to be on how to resolve shadow beliefs. And that was in the episode where I talked about shadow beliefs and how to identify them. Well, it's coming, but not this episode. This episode, again, is on manifestation. And it's how to start manifesting today. And, again, I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'm being led. I'm leaning into the momentum of the conversation that I had, or the letter that I got from Erica. And if you don't remember, that was the topic of the last 5-Minute Friday. And to make complete sense of this, you might want to go back and listen to that first. So let me be completely transparent. Erica also said that she and her husband listened to 3 previous podcast episodes, which set up the letter, set up the experience that they had on their anniversary. But the good news is that they are all on manifesting and they are all relatively short. But it was in the context of the Erica that Erica had sent me, and then the follow-up conversations that I've had with a friend of mine about manifesting and how long it takes. And I just made the offhand comment that everything can turn on a dime. No matter what's going on in your life right now, no matter what's showing up, you can turn it on a dime. You can turn it in a completely different direction today. And what's interesting, the key points are contained in that last 5-Minute Friday, where I detailed the letter from Erica and the story about her and her husband when they went on their anniversary. And then, of course, the follow-up podcast episode right after that on the hardest aspect of manifesting. And I'll remind you here if you didn't listen to that one. So first off, this is going to be like step by step. First thing you want to do is stop focusing on the lack. And that is the hardest aspect of manifesting because it's all too present right in your face. And typically that lack is showing up because that's the area of greatest resistance that you have in your life, in your beliefs or your ideas or your energy around that topic. So put it off to the side. Think of it in the context of creating or cooking a Thanksgiving dinner. Now, when you cook a Thanksgiving dinner, there are some things that cook faster than others. There are things that are easier to make than others. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that slow cooker, we're going to put it in the oven, set it, and forget it. And we're going to focus on the things that are easy to make and easy to prepare. And the next step is telling the story of how we want it to be. We start talking and thinking about how amazing the dinner's going to taste, how people are going to rave about your cooking. You get the idea. Now, another way to think about it is this item or this situation that has been, lagging or less than desirable, showing up as less than desirable, not the way you want. Just acknowledge that I'm going to put that aside for a bit and I'm going to focus on having fun. And now I'm going to draw attention back to the story that Erica relayed to me about her and her husband going off on their anniversary. She had introduced him to the podcast and they listened to 3 episodes on being open and being led, being open to receiving your riches and being led by the universe, leaning into your intuition, being guided by inspired action. But what's important is I need to illustrate the underlying energy around it. 1, they were in the mood for celebration. 2, they were all about having fun. I wonder how much fun we can have with this. And fun was the operative word. And 3, was an expectant sense of curiosity and wonder. I wonder just what might the universe bring our way. So let me recap. They made a declaration. They created an intention. They set the mood. They set the orientation for how they were going to be in the world. They were going to be fun and expectant, curious. And if you listen to the story, just how long did it take for things to start happening? Just a couple hours. But what if you're in a mood? What if you're not feeling fun? What if you're feeling a little heavy from the day? Well, do anything that you can think of to shift your emotions. Go for a walk, take a shower, start listening to music. Do anything that is out of the ordinary. And one of those things might be just to stand up, raise your hands over your head and go, woohoo! And then clap your hands and go, yes! And if after doing that, you feel like it wasn't quite congruent, you weren't quite really into it, do it again, but do it with emotion. Because if you were in a mood, if you weren't in that celebratory attitude, standing up and doing that would not be congruent with that state. So it's going to feel a little uncomfortable, but that's okay. We want it to feel uncomfortable. We want to interrupt the pattern, interrupt the state that you're currently in, and open yourself up for celebration, for fun. And then we bring in another strategy, which I've talked about in past episodes, is act as if. If I were going to have fun, how would I be? How would I carry my body? How would I breathe? You want to get your physiology in line. Remember, William James said that the fastest way to shift your emotions is to move your body. So we take on the persona, we take the actions, the body movements that are in alignment with having fun. Remember my favorite quote from William Shakespeare, "To assume a virtue, act as if you have it not." So quick recap here. First thing you want to do is take whatever concern, whichever area of focus you currently are experiencing lack in, and put that on the side. Put it on the back burner. Set it and forget it. We'll get back to it later after we build up momentum, after we get in the mood. And getting in the mood is bringing in a sense of fun, a sense of celebration, a sense of curiosity and wonder. And then you lean back and being open to whatever the universe provides. Because in you selecting your attitude, you are being 100% responsible, response-abled for whatever shows up in life. You're responsible for how you want to be in the world, how you want to walk in the world, and how you're being makes all the difference. And then pick something that has no emotional baggage to it, something that you'd be easily open to receiving. Ask the universe, send me a sign, send me proof that, this idea, this manifestation thing is working. And no matter how small, it could be finding a feather, it could be finding a dime or a quarter on the sidewalk in front of you. And I pick all that stuff up. I was just recently in the parking lot of a grocery store. I was there with my son, our autistic boy, and I leaned over and picked up the dime. I held it up and I said, "We're rich." And he joined me and we yelled together, "We're rich." And at the moment, it was only a dime, but we were in the spirit of it. We were in the thought of it. And then when we were in the grocery store, something that I thought was going to cost a whole lot more money, once they rang it up, it was on sale. Look at that. It was on sale and I didn't even know it. And I mentioned it. I said, "I didn't know that was on sale." And she said, "Lucky day for you." So again, maybe it's a feather, maybe it's a dime, maybe it's a quarter, maybe it's a parking spot that opens up just as you pull up. Or maybe it's a synchronous event, a chance meeting, someone that you've been wanting to talk to showing up or calling in your life. Ask the universe for a sign, and signs will show up. It could be the passage in a book, the song on the radio that answers a question or brings something to your mind or brings it to a more poignant point of understanding. That is all a manifestation. And as these small and big circumstances show up, because we don't necessarily think just small stuff could show up, it could be some big stuff. You could get a check in the mail. We're not going to put limits on anything, so whatever shows up, you say the statement. You state this affirmation. And it just keeps getting better and better and better. I love it. I love how the universe conspires on my behalf. And then you can even project out in the future and say, wouldn't it be fun if this continued each and every day for the rest of the week, for the next 3 weeks? Just kept getting better and better and better all the time. I think that would be a lot of fun. And as you're in this process of playing the game, playing a game with life and the universe, you're going to find that this thing that you put on the back burner may take care of itself all on its own. Because once you take the focus off it, once you relieve the resistance around manifesting around that and start focusing on the other areas that you can manifest in, you open up the floodgates, you build momentum. Everything can turn around on a dime. Now, if you're not familiar with that phrase, that means taking a car and turning it around on a really small coin quickly. Another way to say it is to change in an instant or shift in a heartbeat. Because at any given moment, you can make a new choice, turn in a new direction, take on a different persona, take on a different way of being in the world, and shift your entire life. At any given moment, you can be born anew. It's only the baggage from the past that we take with us from one moment to the next that recreates the past and puts it into the future. So this rests on the idea that your point of power is in the present moment. Right now, you can make a new decision, a new choice, and change everything from this point forward, no matter what the past was like. As you play this game, I want to hear about it. Take notes, keep a record, keep track of what shifts and what changes you put in place. Write down what your intention is, because I want to hear about it. Maybe I can feature your story on a podcast, because nothing is better than these real-life examples of people putting things in place, taking action, taking inspired action, and creating something brand new. I love stories like that. Well, until next time, this is your friend and host, Daniel Denovi, urging you to follow your bliss. Live your life from inner signals as you live the epic adventure.